I was a bit skeptical when I saw this lawnmower, and I had questions like, what is the cut quality? How loud is it? Will somebody just steal it off my front lawn? We're gonna answer all of those questions in this video, and I'm gonna talk about some things that I really like about this product and some things that I don't care for. So as you can see, I've put this thing to the test over the past few weeks, and I can give you my honest take on it. So let's just go around and show you some of the features that this new Mammotion Luba 5000H has. They have some different tiers depending on how large your lawn is and how much battery capacity you need. As you can see, it has suspension, so it goes over little dips and bumps in the yard, no problem. I have never gotten this thing stuck, but I will talk about the one instance in which it did get stuck, not because it couldn't spin the wheels, but for other circumstances, so we're gonna talk about that. We have these cool wheels on the front. This has a motor on the front and back. This is an all-wheel drive unit, but it's interesting because it's a zero turn. So these don't physically turn, it just moves the back wheels in different rotations to spin this lawnmower any which way, and it does a really good job in really tight corners. And as you can see up here in the front, we have two cameras right here, and then we have these sensors on the left and right side as well as the front. We also have a bumper in which if you bump something, you will hear it beep. And once it starts back, you will hear it beep 3 times. And we'll talk about that more in just a minute. We have these plastic guards to protect from messing up any finishes around your yard, side LEDs, and we have the magnets that charge it. This backs into the dock and charges itself, does a really nice job of that as well. And then of course here on the top we have a big stop button. If there's any sort of emergency, you can bump that and it will automatically stop. If you want it to start again, you simply press the grass button and then start again, and it's super easy to use. Now moving down here to the bottom, you can see these little blades. They're super easy to replace. It's just a flat blade screwdriver to loosen them. Now one thing I have noticed is that these are supposed to spin freely, but as grass and stuff gets stuck in here, you can see that one moves pretty well. I don't think that's an issue as long as it seems to cut really good. I really love the quality that this does, but I'm curious to swap out these blades after a little bit and see how much better it'll do. Now while we're down here talking about the blades, the 5000H will go from 2.5 inches all the way up to 4 inches, and some of the models will go even lower, but I personally like it about 2.3 inches for my particular lawn, and it does really well. So this is the power station for the Luba 2. As you can see, it has a nice little weather shield to keep it out of the rain and snow. And this base basically just screws to the ground into the dirt. It has these long plastic screws. And then up here we have the RTK satellite device that kind of coordinates via satellite to tell you where the unit is. And then we just have it plugged into an exterior outlet here. Again, this was super easy to set up. It only took about 20 minutes and it was ready to charge and ready to go. So first of all, I just want to explain the basic function of this robotic lawnmower. So it's very simple. You manually control it with your phone. You set up the perimeters, and if you have different areas, you also set up a channel so that it knows what channel to take to get from those different task areas. Then after you have these task areas mapped out, you can set a no-go zone. So I have a tree in the front yard and a rock that we went around. Super easy to do, and the Luba knows to go around that area. So my particular lawn, I have 3 task areas. I have my backyard and then 2 separate portions of my front yard, and I have 2 channels. Now those were extremely easy to set up. It was a matter of minutes getting it set up. And as far as getting this out of the box and setting it up, it was very minimal as far as what we had to do. We mounted this piece and we mounted the front bumper, a total of maybe 15-20 minutes, and this thing was ready to program for your particular lawn and get to mowing. Now the first question I said we'd answer is, what is the quality of the cut? As you saw, those little razor blades are really fine, and so it actually makes a really nice cut. Everything was even in my backyard as well as the front. It's early spring, so my yard is still a little bit patchy, but I'm really impressed with the quality of this mower. It has a good overlap, so it doesn't leave any spots where it's missed anything. And it also does like a cross hatch, so it'll do the perimeter twice, and I believe you can change that in settings to where you can do the inside portion and then the perimeter. but I have it set up to where it does the perimeter, and then it goes this way, and then it comes back around and goes this way, and leaves a really nice look. The second question is, how loud is it? While this thing is running, it is really quiet. It's much quieter even than my electric lawnmower that I previously used to use. The thing that gets on my nerves that is a little bit noisy is anytime it bumps into anything with that front bumper, it has one long beep and then 3 beeps after that, signifying that it's going to continue and move a different direction. Now, I tried to fix this by covering these holes here for the speaker. It's still pretty loud. It's a little bit quieter. I've read about other people doing the same thing and making that super quiet, but I have yet to figure that out. I might be able to just go in and take that sensor loose, but that's one of the things that I dislike about this unit. If I can figure that out, I will be 100% happy with it. I would like to mow my lawn at night, you know, like a robotic vacuum cleaner, but if it's going to be beeping every time it hits something and keeping my neighbors up, then obviously I can't do that. One of the other questions was, does it get stuck a lot? Now, I've had 2 instances where this thing got stuck, one of which was my own fault. I tried to mow the lawn while we were gone out of town, and I didn't look at my cameras to make sure that the lawn was clear, and a trash bag had floated into the yard, and the luba ran it over, and the bag kind of got stuck, and it just stopped right there. So it was halfway through cutting the lawn, and it was just kind of stuck there when we got back. So not totally its fault. I totally understand that. However, one thing I'll note is that the channel that goes from our backyard to the front yard is gravel. And so when I was mapping out and manually controlling the luba to get to my front yard, it did it just fine. But when it tried to do that by itself, I think because it uses the GPS coordinates and satellite imaging to get there, the gravel actually threw it off. So it got stuck trying to get to my front yard. Now, I'm planning on paving that area, but just in case you're wondering, if you have gravel that you need to go across, this will go across it just fine. It didn't physically get stuck, but it hit something and then it didn't reattempt like when it's cutting the grass. It just got stuck through an error and I had to manually get it back. So just something to keep in mind if you have any gravel areas that you need to travel across to get to an actual task area. Now, elephant in the room, how much does this cost? This Mammotion 5000, if I was to just purchase this, would be $2,800. Now, if you think about it, it's not chump change, that's a lot of money. But think about it from this perspective. Either you hire a company to mow your lawn every single week, you could add that up and see if the math adds up. For me, I do this all myself. Now, if I'm being on the conservative side, I'll say I'll spend 1 hour per week mowing my lawn. Now, how much time is 1 hour of my time worth? It's about $100. I can go out and I can make $100 an hour doing my secular work instead of having to cut my lawn. So if you do the math on that, 1 hour per week times 4, that's $400 per month, times 12 is $4,800. So the math really adds up. If I was to purchase one of these with my own money, after less than a year, this would have paid for itself. Something else a lot of people ask about is, can somebody just steal this off of my front lawn? And the short answer is yes. I guess people steal stuff for no reason all the time, but what could they technically do with this if they don't have the charging station, they don't have the account set up, they don't even have the app, so they can't control it. So it's really worthless to them. Now, as far as that goes, I have some other friends that have this same exact lawnmower, and one of them had some charging issues with their lawnmower. They reached out to Luba customer support, and they're sending them out a brand new system. So I think they have really good support. I've only had this for less than a month, so I can't speak to that, but I'm just basing it off of what my friend said about it. Now, as far as the app, it's super easy to use, very user-friendly. As soon as you connect the device to the app, you have the ability to change all of these different settings, including the side LED, the voice control, the speed at which it mows your grass, the length that it'll cut, and a bunch of different settings here. You can also manually control the device with these joysticks here, and you can also hit the recharge button that'll bring it automatically back to the station to recharge. Now, another awesome feature of this is you can schedule everything out to where it'll mow your grass seamlessly and you don't even have to think about it. For me, I can simply go back through in about 5 minutes and trim the areas that it didn't get, and it saves me so much time. Well guys, that's my honest take on the Luba 2 5000H. Overall, I really love this product and I'm really happy that I have it. I think it's gonna save a lot of time and pay for itself really quickly. Now, if you're interested in picking one of these up, I'll make sure and leave a link in the video description. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.